Crime. Foreign crime. Crimes committed by foreigners in Japan, and according to loud voices on Twitter, the Japanese right-wing media, Japanese loud online voices, and of course, the most knowledgeable of all the groups, which would be foreigners that have never visited Japan but somehow have the correct opinion online.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
And yeah, according to these groups, internationals in Japan are committing boatloads of crime. But are they really?
Crime! 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 Crime!
According to these internet losers, crime in Japan is mostly committed by international visitors and residents of Japan, leaving the dainty, innocent Japanese people innocent of mostly all crimes. You'll find no matter how small or petty the crime is, any crime committed by an international person will be blasted all over social media, giving the impression that a lot of crimes in Japan are committed by international residents and visitors. And in the case when a Japanese person has committed a crime and said crime is blasted on social media, no. That person isn't Japanese at all. That person is Chinese. I'm being like deadly serious as well. There are so many cases of Japanese people committing crimes, the crime being blasted on social media, for the commentary underneath said social media post to read, oh no, that person was Chinese. Crimes are committed in Japan by internationals and Japanese people alike. Both these groups are committing crimes in Japan. What type of crimes are international people committing in Japan? It's not what you think. I grabbed some stats from 2020 just to see what type of crimes people were committing 6 years ago. And about 61% of crimes committed by internationals at this time was petty theft. 11% had something to do with violence or bodily injury, and around 6% was fraud. These statistics don't really show like a wave of internationals coming to Japan and committing various crimes. It kind of shows that there are still criminal organizations in Japan using the youth, but also using international people to commit their crimes. Editing Jordan here, this topic is actually massive. This is something called the Tokuryu, which is basically like an elusive crime organization network, similar to Yakuza, but it's more like a quasi-gangster. The entire thing is that they lack structure and they use like international people and foreign nationals to basically do their bidding. It's very much basically just like an evil pyramid of crime where the masterminds are sitting between layers and layers of like patsies and ringleaders and like recruiters and perpetrators. The entire network is like constantly expanding. It's a very interesting topic. I would love to dive into a deeper video about it one day. Eventually we'll talk about it, but back to the video. For anyone that knows anything about criminal organizations, you know there's always a patsy. There's always someone in between the criminal organization and the crime itself in order to pad them from responsibility. That padding is normally the youth, international people, some kind of minority, normally someone that society will see as vulnerable or a second-class citizen. The vast majority of crimes committed by internationals from 2020 to about 2026 are some of the most stupid crimes you've ever seen in your life. We're talking things like immigration violations, where someone has blatantly overstayed their visa, or someone just has the wrong visa in the line of work they're doing. See student on student visa, working too many hours. Look at student on student visa, working a kind of nightlife job that they can't actually legally work on the student visa. So you'll find that a lot of the international crimes are visa related, but there are also a section of crimes that internationals commit that are drug related. Even though this conversation is very prevalent online, drugs in Japan, this is going to surprise you, are illegal. Drug bad. You do drug, you get in trouble. This isn't America, this isn't Europe, this isn't the UK. You can't do casual drug use in Japan. Weed the same as heroin, the same as speed, the same as LSD in Japan. Stay away from all drugs while you're in the country. That being said, foreigners who didn't get that memo end up getting in trouble with the law when they're inevitably busted for doing low-grade, shit-quality drugs that Japan seems to import. And another thing that internationals normally get tagged for is violating the Nightlife Act. This was the act that was signed into law in like 1948, and it sort of prohibited dancing and all-night clubbing and drinking in certain locations and stuff. The entire act was revised in 2015, making it easier for people to open clubs and bars and all-night establishments and what have you, but there are still limitations that the act puts on certain locations, and if you break those laws, you know, the government is going to come down pretty hard. So for internationals who aren't aware of these laws, who have establishments that operate at nighttime, or they're just in an establishment that is breaking these laws, they could also get in trouble. And looking at clubbing and nightlife in Japan, more internationals do tend to do these events while they're visiting and living here. And if, for example, there was some kind of police raid on a club or a bar or something, they're going to normally single out the internationals. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to pretend it doesn't happen. It's happening right now in Japan. If you're an international in Japan, you're going to get singled out occasionally when stuff like this happens. Hold on a second. We have all this evidence now. Internationals are committing various crimes in Japan. Social media was right. Across the entirety of Japan from 2021 to 2025, 56,000 foreign nationals were apprehended by the police. Now that sounds like a massive number, but this was a 40% decrease from the peak of 93,000 foreign nationals from 2001 to 2005. This is based off crime statistics from the National Police Agency. That's right, this comes from the source. Nationally, the entire number has gone down by 40%, but we can even break this down further from region to region. 14 prefectures, including Tohoku and Koshinetsu. Koshinetsu is like a sub-region of the Chubu region in Japan. It includes like Yamanashi, Niigata, etc, etc. And in those prefectures and regions, the amount of internationals committing crimes has halved. Halved. That is more than the national average. Yeah, by like 10%, but still 10% is massive when you're talking about an entire country, right? And there might be one small thing you're forgetting. During this exact same period, when the amount of crime committed by internationals was halved in some regions, 40% over the entirety of Japan, the amount of internationals coming to Japan doubled from 2 million to 3.95 million. This shows that proportionally, the crime committed by international people living and working and traveling Japan has gone way down. Statistics are on our side on this one. Math is great. However, even with statistics on our side, even with math supporting the claims that internationals are committing less crime in Japan, the rhetoric on social media is still very xenophobic. There are still xenophobic, outright racist posts online claiming that this deterioration of public safety that is somewhat happening everywhere in Japan is caused by the increase in international visitors. This is untrue. It's just not true. They don't have the numbers to back up their claim. The math isn't there. It's just fanciful thinking from a racist group online. And we have to remember that. And the problem is, it's not just a tiny group of racist Japanese people posting angrily online. It's also, for some reason, a bunch of international people who have never stepped foot in Japan, pushing forward these claims that internationals are somehow the root of all crime. We have a lot of angry people online screaming into the ether, looking for someone new to blame, be that domestic or international. But what we actually need is a calm, data-driven discussion about crime in Japan, how we can prevent it, how we can protect the youth in Japan, and how we can move Japan forward to be a better place for both internationals and domestic people to live, work, and visit. To be fair, this is kind of classic scapegoating. We see it in every country where things aren't going well for the people that live there. They decide they need some kind of a scapegoat, someone to point blame to as to why their life isn't going well. And normally they blame people who they view as second-class citizens, minorities, the youth, international people coming in to live and work and travel the country that they call home. And hilariously, it's never actually the fault of the people blamed. It's always the fault of, come say it with me now, the government. And if you look to the Japanese government, we have the LDP, who've been in power for the last billion years, and in those billion years have done nothing to improve the lives of people living in Japan. I saw a very funny video a few days ago where this guy was going around interviewing people about a ramen store in Osaka charging internationals double the price. And a girl came out and basically said she agrees with it because wages in Japan have been stagnant for the last 20 years. But my rebuttal the second I saw that was, and how the fuck is that the international people's fault? Did you guys not vote in the same LDP for 100 years and expect things to be different? Is that not the definition of insanity, to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different outcome? What does the ramen store in Osaka have anything to do with national wages in Japan? If you don't like it, vote in a new party. Make change. Didn't the Japanese Prime Minister also want to like depreciate the yen and the banks were like, don't do it, and she did it anyway? Like, that's a story for another time, but flipping hell, the Japanese government is really messing things up right now. But I digress. What we need in Japan is data-driven, straightforward conversation, none of this emotionally charged rhetoric online about whose fault it is that X is happening and foreigner A committed immigration crime. Let's focus on how to improve Japan for everyone living and working in the country, be they international, be they traveler, be they Japanese. And I can hear the comments below me. I can hear them bubbling up and screaming, but Jordan, this is international liberal bias. Oh, what are your sources? Literally, they're all Japanese. Literally every source is basically a Japanese source. For the last 25 years, Kyodo News has basically been compiling all the Japanese crime data across the entirety of Japan into one easy to digest document. This crime data is basically crime as a whole in Japan, its various typings and such, and then it's crime committed by Japanese people, and then crime committed by internationals. And by internationals, I mean both tourists and residents. They just separate permanent residents from that grouping because they're a completely different, like, people now, basically. So this data is basically Japanese data compiled by Japanese people with Japanese sources. Like, it's as impartial as it's gonna get, honestly.
Wow! Congratulations!
40 out of the 47 prefectures have seen massive drops to their crime rates. Nagano, surprisingly, saw the highest drop in crime rate, 73.2%. Arrests went from 1,679, already pretty small number of arrests, down to only 450. Tokushima, Ehime, Wakayama, and Fukushima also saw similar drops to their crime statistics. In absolute numbers, Tokyo also saw a massive drop to the amount of arrests. The amount of arrests in Tokyo decreased by 22,000 people. Kanagawa saw big drops as well, 3,358, and in Shizuoka, there was a nice little drop of 2,241. Across the board in almost every single prefecture, we're seeing massive decreases in the amount of arrests that are happening. And then we get to Ibaraki. Oh, Ibaraki. Ibaraki is one of the prefectures where we didn't see a massive decrease in the amount of internationals being arrested. Sadly, we didn't even see a little decrease in the amount of internationals being arrested. But what we actually saw was an increase. That's right, the amount of people being arrested in Ibaraki in 2025 actually increased. We're not mad at you, Ibaraki, we're just kind of disappointed. With all this online drama about Japan, this new weird government that we have, Japan can feel just a little bit tense, I would say. But the statistics show Japan is as safe as it was 10 years ago. Even safer even. And while there are people online who want to churn this into some kind of big political issue, who want to sort of sow the seeds of division between Japanese people and the internationals that want to live and visit Japan, we can't let them do it. And we gotta take some steps to blocking these people out. And here's a little crash course from someone that works in social media to tell you the best ways to block these people out. First things first, check the country they're posting from. A lot of these people are just bots. And that way you can also see if the person is actually posting from Japan or from Johannesburg. Number two, the best way to block them out? Block them. Literally just block them. The best way to block someone out online is to block them. My block list on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Threads, on TikTok is massive. Absolutely huge. For someone who wants to sow doubt and churn uncertainty, the worst thing you can do is completely just shut them down. And I know people are like, what about conversation? Fuck conversation. They are not here to have a conversation. You can give them facts and they'll come back with rhetoric. They're not here to engage in debate. They're here to churn nonsense. Block them and move on. Number three, report them. Reporting them never works. I've had people literally tweet at me the N-word. I've posted things and someone has called me the N-word underneath things I've posted. And I've gone, hey moderators, this looks like straight up racism. You wanna axe the account? And they'll get back to me with, the moderator had a look at it. Perfectly fine, no worries. So now, once again, I go back to number two. I just block him. Don't even waste time. I might hit block and report, but I know the report is doing nothing. So I block him and I move on. Life is too short. And finally, if you're living in Japan, if you're not living in Japan, if you have dreams to eventually one day live in Japan, go outside. Go outside. You have come all the way to Japan to sit inside and argue with people online? No. Go outside. Go and explore. Go to your local izakaya. Go to your local park. Go and make some friends outside. Go outside. And if you're not here yet, if you're in your home country still, same thing. Go outside. Go and explore. Go and get some fresh air. Go and join a hobby. Like, seriously, go and study your Japanese. I'll see you here in like 1 to 2 years. But like, generally, go outside. Do not let the internet rule your life. And a lot of you are like, yeah, I'm going outside. Fantastic. Keep going outside. Because when it comes down to it, outside of the internet, these people have literally zero power. But guys, I'm gonna love you and leave you, and if you've got time for one more video, I got one right here. It's about how American convenience stores are now Japanese. Take that, America. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.